Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. My faithful listeners know that I start each solo episode with gratitude. So since I've been so blessed to have incredible guests join me for the last 4 weeks, I haven't had a chance to publicly express my gratitude. So I'm thankful for this opportunity to openly express how grateful I am to my guests. Before I started reaching out to guests, I didn't realize the extent of excellent contacts I already had in my phone. I started by texting my contacts to ask them to be on the show, but after I texted my whole phone, I realized I had to be intentional about who I was asking to be on my podcast. I asked my spiritual team for discernment, and the right people have been and will be on my podcast. So I'm over the moon grateful for that. I'm grateful for every day I wake up and there are no messages or missed phone calls from anyone sharing news that would rock my day. I've seen so much grief on social media as of late, and my heart immediately sends so much love and solace to the person saying that they're experiencing grief in their heart. Unfortunately, when someone's grieving, the best way to get through it is to feel it. So the best thing you can offer, or anyone can offer for someone who is grieving around you, is an ear, a hand, an embrace, or a loving space for them to release their feelings. Peace be upon you, my brothers and sisters, going through that particular struggle. I have found myself even being grateful for a peaceful and safe place to sleep through the night. Do you know the amount of trust that you have to experience a sound sleep? Certain conditions have to be met to fall into a deep REM sleep, and I'm thankful that the conditions I need to sleep soundly are consistently met. And lastly, I'm grateful for my life. Not lastly, I'm always grateful for my life. At this particular point, the way that my life is allowed my nervous system to be the most regulated that it's ever been. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I'm kind of to the point, no, I'm not kind of. I am to the point where if it disturbs my peace or anything outside of me disturbs my peace, then I don't want it and I don't want to be around it. So I will exit stage left pretty quickly. I will leave the space and the person to protect it. Unless I can see that there's a lesson that my soul needs to learn, which I'm in several situations like that where I know my soul needs to learn a lesson. And so I'm entertaining it. Sometimes the lesson that needs to be learned is to simply rely on your intuition to determine when it's time to exit stage left. And so I'm still recovering people pleaser, so I'm still learning that. Now, you know I love me a good definition, and I'm team #facts over feelings. So let's get to the facts of it all. I tend to start with definitions of words because I'm a word nerd, but also I understand that there are some meanings to words that we adopt, but never actually note that there are various meanings to the words that we use. I know I've been caught in a few conversations with words I thought I knew, but I didn't know the other definition. So I first would like to define the word ask. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, to ask means to call on for an answer or to put a question about. It can also mean speak or utter. And for this podcast topic, I will refer to the second definition, which is not the definition we think about when we use the word ask. I also want to clear up the definitions of prayer, meditation, and manifestation. There seems to be some confusion around the meanings of these words, and I want to make sure that while I'm speaking about them, there are none. So, in that same dictionary, prayer is an address such as a petition to God or a God in word or thought. Synonyms include petition, plea, and request, and beg. Meditation is defined as a long or deep thinking about spiritual matters. Synonyms include contemplation, introspection, and reflection. And manifestation means to make evident or certain by showing or displaying. Synonyms include evident, show, and demonstrate. All three of these modalities are used in my spiritual practice, but I wanted to clear up the definitions of those words and also denote why I am choosing to use the word manifest and not answer prayer. I know the God in me shines bright through me. I am not absolved of the essence of God because I am mortal. That's patriarchal thinking. Although I do ask for things I can't handle, I also know through the source creator energy flow that flows through me, whatever is for me will be for me, and it is already so. And that brings me to the topic of this week, which is if you ask to receive, you better get ready for it. And I was led to actually speak about this topic because as of late, in the past few months, I have experienced some synchronicities in my life that I can't even explain. And I don't want to say that I'm weirded out by it, but it's continually blowing my mind. This started shortly after I started my practice of gratitude every day last November 28th. I started November 28th, 2023, and I did a stint of like 50 something days where I wrote 40 affirmations, and I was supposed to go for 40 days, but I went longer because I just couldn't get over it. And so I kind of felt like God was like, "Oh, so you being grateful now. Okay, blessings of all sorts are starting to pour down on you starting now." It literally felt like that. And so it's not weird. I've yet to find the word for it, but literally I can think of something and it happens. And so much so that I realized that I have to keep my thoughts positive as of late because I don't want the negative thing to happen. That's how things have been happening in my life just quickly. I know that I'm making it sound like I have some superpower or something, but I know it's really because of the affirmation practice that I started. And I didn't just do it for the 50 days. Every day I wake up in gratitude. I'm just thankful for the now. Some positive affirmations that I continually say and have I started saying in the 50 days and I continually say is I am a magnet for good things. I am abundant in resource. All that I want and need, I already have it. And there is no problem, only destiny revealed. Oh, and abundance is my birthright. So I've said those continually for a while, and all of them have been and come to pass and have continued to be in rotation. It's crazy. What I'm trying to say is the mere act of asking for something is powerful, yet with great power comes great responsibility. In life, asking for what you want is often the first step, but receiving it is where the real work begins. Many of us are great at asking, but not everyone is prepared for what comes after the yes. Also, it's easy to focus on the desire itself because you can imagine the joy and fulfillment of getting exactly what you want. But here's the thing. Receiving isn't passive. It's an active process that requires readiness, humility, and the ability to handle both the challenges and blessings that come with receiving. To receive what you actually ask for may throw you off because you may need to be ready to shift your mindset, your habits, your lifestyle, and even your identity. Basically, you may just have to get uncomfortable and embrace it. Not may, you will. You will be uncomfortable. And in my experience, there's no way to prepare for this shift because you don't get to dictate how it happens. You just have to go with it. So that's probably my biggest thing with asking for things, because you don't get to dictate how it happens to get to what you want. You just have to go with the flow. You might be called to grow in ways you haven't anticipated. For example, let's say you ask for an increased success in your job. Well, with this success that you ask for, you also might be required to manage your time differently or lead a team. Let's say you ask for changes in your love life. Well, this change in your love life might require you to work on your communication skills or your ability to be emotionally available. And it might not be the someone else that needs to change. It might be you that needs to change. You might actually be the problem. And then my last example has to do with abundance, which when we talk about abundance, we're often talking about financial abundance, but there are many ways to be abundant. I just told you in my gratitude section today that it is abundant to have a safe and peaceful place to sleep. Like that's a type of abundance. But I'm thinking of financial abundance when I'm speaking of abundance in this situation. And if you get financial abundance when you ask for it, it may push you to learn financial literacy. I'm thinking about all the people that have won these really big lottery pots and then like they lose it almost as quickly as they received it because they just don't have any management skills, when in essence, they weren't actually ready to receive the responsibility that came with their financial abundance. And y'all, if you're asking to be abundant, make sure you're specific about which abundance you desire. Whatever it is, understand that receiving always comes with a call to step up in some way, even if it's not the step up you envision. So, what helped me in this space was jumping outside of myself, looking at the situation from the 30,000-foot view, and reflecting on the lesson that I was supposed to learn about what I experienced. And that's really hard to do, but there's so much value in doing that. And ultimately, receiving is synonymous with growth. So when you ask for something, you're inviting change, and change requires growth. So you got to ask yourself, am I prepared to outgrow my old habits, relationships, or thought patterns that no longer serve me? Am I ready to embrace new challenges, step outside of my comfort zone, and become the person I need to be to handle what I asked for? Y'all, this episode, it may not be for you, but it's certainly for me because, like I said earlier, I've had direct experience with this. And over the past few months specifically, it's been wild because I'll ask for something and it happens, but it's not necessarily happening in the way that I envisioned it, but it's still happening. And it's all very uncomfortable. But do you know, if you ask for something and you receive it, the responsibility requires you to actually trust yourself. And that is difficult and uncomfortable, or can be difficult and uncomfortable in itself because whew, adulting is hard. And so you're thinking like, ooh, what decisions am I making? Is it the right decision? Is it the wrong decision? Or how people are going to be affected? How am I going to be affected? Decision making can be difficult too, but it's a skill to build and a muscle to work on. So I can speak so passionately about it because I know that is something that I'm continually working on for myself, but I'm still a work in progress, especially when it comes to trusting myself. So, but I'm confident it will come to pass. I believe in myself and I will learn to trust myself. No, I am actively learning to trust myself and I am giving myself grace as I move through it every day. So, my call to action for you this week is to prepare yourself to manifest greatness, then actually do it. So, in order to prepare yourself, I would suggest that you start a gratitude practice. And I can always talk about, and I do always talk about, just how life changing it has been for me to start a gratitude practice. It it'll change your life too, I'm confident. So start by being gracious about your current situation and what you're in every day. Try to find the silver lining in the situation, even if it's not the most desired situation for you to be in. Next, you can start preparing your life by committing to doing some inner work, as receiving often requires mental, emotional, and sometimes physical preparation. Gain some emotional intelligence and learn how to set goals. And while you're preparing for your blessing, you may have to clear out some mental clutter, emotional baggage, or even create physical space for them. Then you are ready to manifest. And the key to manifestation for me and generally actually lies in your ability to see the life you desire vividly before it comes to fruition. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's planting the seeds for your future. So why not start visualizing today? But pick me. If you're a present person like myself, you may struggle with seeing the future. But visualization is not about seeing the future, it's more about seeing yourself in your actualized prayers and manifestations. So, I would suggest this is something that I have started doing is setting aside a few minutes each day to clearly visualize your goals, whether it's your personal goals, your career success, or building stronger relationships, or just changing your life. Picture every detail, feel how it will feel, um, smell how it will smell. What sounds are you going to be hearing? Like have a true immersive experience in the visualization and believe that it's already on its way because it is if you can visualize it. And then you can take this a step further. You can write it down, you can create a vision board, or you can meditate on your dreams. This is my lock screen, and on my lock screen, I have my vision board. So I don't have to go anywhere to see it. I made it in Canva, and I get to see it every day. So I'm actually training my subconscious on what I envision because it's right here every day. Whatever method resonates with you, commit to making visualization a daily practice. Your future self is waiting. Unlock it by seeing it clearly today. And if you care to share your vision for your life, I'd love to hear about it. You can DM me or you can leave a comment in the comments below whatever platform you're receiving this message in. So, to wrap up today's episode, I will leave you with a quote and a list of affirmations. The quote is, "What you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you become." And that's anonymous. And then 10 affirmations, manifestation affirmations. "I am worthy of everything I desire and I attract abundance effortlessly. I trust the universe to bring my dreams into reality at the perfect time. My thoughts are powerful and I create the life I envision. I am in alignment with my highest potential and manifest success with ease. Every day, I am attracting positive energy, wealth, and opportunities into my life. I am a magnet for love, prosperity, and joy. I see my goals clearly and I manifest them with confidence and clarity. I am grateful for the abundance that flows through my life, and more is on the way." Ooh, that's a good one. "I trust the process of manifestation and let go of any doubts or fears." And lastly, "My life is a reflection of the energy I put out, and I choose to radiate positivity and success." And there is something to be said about being positive and being encouraging and being happy and being compassionate and being loving to all who are around us. Well, that's all for me this week. Thank you for tuning in to A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Alive Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And you can catch the visual on YouTube if you care to watch it. It's on my YouTube page. Now, I'm so excited for the next month. When I started this show in January, I envisioned these October shows and what I would talk about before the topics came up with the other months. So I had October planned before any of the other months, and it has come to fruition. So the topics of all the shows has to do with something that needs to be talked about, but we don't talk about it enough. Do you know what it is? I'm talking about death. And I will be exploring all things about death, dying, the other side, and I'm super excited. I've interviewed a medium that I've used, a death doula and budding funeral director, and a couple of spiritualists, all based here in Kansas City. And I have been dying to speak about this. Sometimes I like to be a little punny. Anyway, until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week.